Today we're gonna talk about an amazing topic, and that is identity shifting. And I know that a lot of you are interested in that because I posted a video about it maybe 2 weeks ago and I got a lot of response to that. And this is one of my favorite topics right now because we just love to be able to take the power back of our lives. I do. It is amazing. So if you want to learn more about the specific techniques and also a very potent exercise that you can do in shifting your identity, I encourage you to go back and look at the video on identity shifting. I'm gonna link it down below. I sound like such a cliche YouTuber. But as I was thinking of video ideas for today's video, I was out walking in the beautiful jungle here in Mexico. And I thought, this thing with identity shifting, it's just so amazing. I just wish that more humans knew about it because it is wild. We have so much more power than we think. It's literally like you can just take another... I'm not gonna strip for the camera. We're not making that kind of videos here. But you can just change the coat. And all of a sudden, I went from yellow to green. Now we have the green me sitting here. That is, in theory, how simple it is to change your identity. You just have to get your subconscious with you on the train. So I think this is just mind-blowing. And why aren't more people doing this? Because this is really like the rocket ship to next level consciousness. Because identity, it is really the strongest lever that we have to pull on for manifesting fast. Manifesting things fast. Because identity is really the deepest part of yourself, or how you perceive yourself, and we manifest through how we perceive ourselves, not our deepest self, which is our soul. The soul is just there in the background like, what is she doing? But I see it as we manifest our reality, co-create our reality with the divine, more so through how we perceive ourselves, the lens through which we see reality, aka our mind. And identity is really like the foundation of your mind. So if you can go and change the foundation, everything else is gonna change. It's gonna be this beautiful domino effect, ripple effect. So really, identity shifting in one simple phrase is think a better thought. Because the thought that you are thinking right now, if you feel like you are stuck at a level of consciousness and you want to reach the next level consciousness, you want to adopt a new identity, you want to be able to manifest from a much higher level. It's like you are in a store, let's say H&M, and you are in the bottom store, and you're like, oh, they only have kids' clothes here, and I am not a kid anymore. I have outgrown all these outfits, all these costumes. Usually they have the ladies on the bottom floor, but let's pretend it's the kids' floor. And you want to elevate, you want to take the stairs to the next level, where they have outfits that actually suit the you that you are today and the you that you want to become. So you need to take the stairs. And how do you take the stairs? Well, the thing is that if you stay in the same type of thought over and over, you're gonna stay at the kids' floor, circulating, being more and more frustrated and wondering like, why aren't there any outfits that are big enough for me right now? Why doesn't anything suit me anymore? I feel like I have outgrown all these outfits, aka all these aspects of your personality. Well, you need to learn how to walk up the stairs, or those, what is the name in English? I need to Google it. Escalator. I think it's escalator. Escalator. You need to learn how to take the escalator up to the floor that has outfits that suit you and also your next level self. Lizard says hallelujah to that. So I'm sitting here and claiming that the way you do that is by thinking a better thought. And I have an example for that from, okay, let's first look at an example for a couple of years back and then an example from today. So a couple of years ago, more precisely 6 years ago, I had a spiritual awakening. And I went from being very scientific, my studies are actually in engineering, and just believing that reality is just the things that we can touch, the things that we can see, and there is nothing bigger, there's nothing beyond that, because that's just an illusion, that's just woo, apparently, it's not real. And then after my spiritual awakening, it was this whole new world feeling. I'm not gonna sing that song right now. But you get my point. And I started to discover this whole universe of spiritual practices. I started to attend yoga classes, not by the body, like, okay, I'm gonna stretch my body, relax my mind, but from the spirit, from the soul. I started to really feel a connection to something bigger in my yoga classes. And that is when I felt, oh, this is so beautiful. I just feel completely at peace. I have nothing. I'm literally just laying here in my leggings on a yoga mat, and I feel like I have everything that I could ever ask for. It's really true what they say, like, the small moments are really the big moments. Okay, cliches aside, I really had this deep feeling that maybe you have felt too, like, I need to share this. This was like an epiphany. I didn't know that it was possible to feel this good. And I want nothing but to share this with everyone on earth. And I was looking at my yoga teachers, walking around in bliss, saying things in Sanskrit and just sharing wisdom, channeling from the higher dimensions, looking so blissful and peaceful, barefoot, just enjoying themselves. And I thought, oh, lucky them who can get paid teaching yoga, walking around barefoot, embracing their inner hippies. I wish I could do that too. See, I wasn't yet thinking a better thought. Because my thoughts were centered around the personality that I had back then, or the identity that I saw myself as having, which was, I am someone who works a full-time corporate job with something that I don't truly enjoy, sitting in an open office with these horrible, nausea-provoking lights, working on building someone else's dream. That was my identity, and I literally couldn't see outside of that identity. Before one day I was laying there in Shavasana in bliss, and I thought, you could really see how I'm like rising up from Shavasana like, oh, what is telling me that I can't do this too? And I realized that the answer was nothing. Nothing is telling me that I can't become a yoga teacher. And that was the aha moment. And maybe if you're watching this, you're like, oh, but of course you can be a yoga teacher. Like anyone can become a yoga teacher who has, well, the passion and takes a yoga teacher training and so on. But the thing is that we don't know what we don't know. And if you feel like you're stuck in a level of consciousness and you have a big dream that is there, you may even have blind spots about what is holding you back and about your current identity, how you're seeing yourself, because you have seen yourself as that person for your entire life. It is hard for you to break free from jail when you don't even know that you are in jail. So I inspire you to play with this concept of thinking a better thought. What are the objections that just go on auto repeat? Maybe your dream is to become a writer. Maybe it is to become a YouTuber. Maybe it is to start an NGO. But you're like, but it's not possible because XYZ. What is that XYZ? Just look at the objections that come from your mind, because those are your subconscious limiting beliefs that you need to be aware of in order to embrace a new identity, which starts by thinking a better thought. A thought that is that maybe I can. Maybe I can do this. So let's go to a more recent example just a couple of hours ago, today. So the thing is that I have always lived in rental properties. And here in Tulum, where I live in Mexico, there are a lot of people owning property. And I remember when I moved here a year and a half ago, I was like, oh, good for them, owning properties. But I couldn't do that. I am not the kind of person who owns property. I am not the kind of person who has my own house. But I am just someone who is looking for the cheapest rental over here and how much money can I save, because that was the kind of mindset that I was in. And you see, at that time, a year and a half ago, just a couple months ago, weeks ago even, I didn't even entertain the thought of me being someone who could own property. Because my identity was so fixed around how I had always seen myself in this very regard, which is I am someone who just rents in secondhand by someone else. And now I spent a couple of days in this beautiful, magical geodesic dome. That is a YouTube video in itself, but it's just so beautiful, so magical. It has such good energy. And here, when I was disconnected from the noise of the city, it just hit me. The same aha moment I had at that yoga mat a couple of years back. I felt like I was just rising into, what is telling me that I can't own property? What is telling me that I am someone who can't? That this is somehow reserved for other people, but not for me? Nothing! Once again, nothing. It was just a limiting belief in my damn mind. So today, I started to think a better thought. And as I am a manifestor in human design, the time from ID to implementation is record short. That's what characterizes manifestors. We just do things hyper fast. I contacted the owner of this house, who is also the architect. And I asked him, hey, how do you actually do to buy land? And could you maybe help me to build a house like this? And all of a sudden, what was just a couple days ago like owning a house is not for people like me. It went from that a couple days ago to sitting and discussing, okay, how could this actually happen? What are the costs? How much time would it take? What are the challenges to overcome? And this guy happens to be an expert in all this. And now all of a sudden, I just started to see myself completely differently because I choose a better thought. And the second step of the concept of identity shifting, of embodying your new identity, we go from thinking a better thought to prioritizing as your next level self. So prioritizing the way your next level self does, I don't want to say will do because time doesn't exist. And your next level self, if you can imagine, if you have this desire of becoming a yoga teacher or investing in property or whatever it is for you, it means that it is possible for you. Because if it weren't possible, you wouldn't be able to imagine it. Okay, it's that simple really. So your next level self, the version of you that already has this thing or does this thing that is a desire on your heart already exists. Because reality is just different levels of vibration. And when we do identity shifting, it is the fastest way to jump from one level of vibration, one version of reality, to the one that you want to manifest. So how is your next level self prioritizing in a way that you are not currently prioritizing because you're not thinking the better thought? And the key to this is to start to think the better thought, then you will get clues to how your next level self is prioritizing. Another example is that I am working a lot with this identity shifting right now and have been doing for the last couple of weeks, months even. And you can see exactly how I'm doing this in the video of identity shifting linked down below, where I also share the exercise I'm working with, but I'm really seeing results. Because one thing that my next level self is doing is that she is a full-time YouTuber. And if you're watching it right now, I have been posting daily videos for 21 days. How much is that? 21 days. And it really has started to shift the way that I see myself. So that is, I started to think a thought that I want to become a YouTuber. Well, that is also a thing that it wasn't even a thing for me before. And then I got the thought, what if I could actually become a YouTuber? Then I started to prioritize as the YouTuber version of me did, which is, well, she's allocating a lot more time to YouTube. And at this point in time, she's even posting daily videos. So I started to post daily videos and said, well, the rest of my life has to adapt. I have to find a way for the other tasks because as all humans, I have a lot of things going on. And it's sometimes slightly overwhelming, I will admit it. But I know for sure that my next level self is prioritizing YouTube. And this is like a self-fulfilling prophecy or a positive cycle, because the more I prioritize YouTube, which is an action, the more I start to see myself as a full-time YouTuber, which is an identity. And the more I see myself as a full-time YouTuber, the easier it is to keep prioritizing YouTube and to keep taking the actions that that version of myself is taking, because I am becoming her. So that is really the task for me today. Think a better thought. Start now. What is the better thought that you can think? You have a dream here, you are here. What is the thought that you are thinking that are keeping you at your current level of consciousness, at your current identity? And then, how can you prioritize the way that this version of yourself does? And start to do that now, no excuses. So that was all we had today. Thank you so much for watching. And if you got any value from this video, please hit the like button so that more humans can also join us in shifting their identities. And also, if you want more videos like this, I am obsessing over identity shifting right now because I'm seeing so much results. You can also go back and watch that video from 21 days ago, and you can see that you already see a difference in how I show up on camera. Because I am, in real time as you're watching this, adopting the identity of a YouTuber. So if you want more videos like this, hit the subscribe button. There is so much more magic to come. I love you, and I see you in the next one.